People deluded. Now, hear me out, people. Hear me out. Hear me out. Off topic. Oh, you know when you got a lid to a pen? I'm real buggy like that, people. Basically, there's a lid to one of my felt tips. I cannot find the felt tip. If it stops working, I'm gonna be annoyed. But moving back on, yeah. Hear me out, yeah. I think Danny Welbeck's future directly impacts Reiss Nelson's immediate future, and what I mean by that is whether Welb stays or goes. Of course, it doesn't mean if Nelson will have a future. I believe he'll be here or not. But if you put yourselves in Unai Emery's shoes and you look at the size of the squad and you look at the need of the squad, for me personally, I can't speak for no one else. I believe we need 5 signings. At a push, I'd say 3. At a push, I'd say if you gave me it in the summer and said you can only get 2 positions in two signings in 2 positions next summer, summer 2019, I'd probably say 2. And what I believe we need is a central defender. Holding's doing his thing, Mustafi's all right, and Socrates is cool, but I believe just if we could find that young centre-half with the prospect to be a madness, someone that's not, I don't mean young in the sense of Holding and Mavropanos, inexperienced, someone that's got a bit of experience, or in prime centre-half that's ready to take us to the next level. We obviously need a left-back. There's a case for another right-back. I know Lichtstein's still here. I believe the centre-mid, another centre-mid was needed anyways, but Ramsey's going centre-mid. And we can't deny we need that winger, people. I'm speaking for myself. Welbeck, we know he's used up front or on the left-hand channel. So if we look at the attacking options or the front 3 positions as I on a regular basis call them, or front 4 positions, including the 10, let's just keep it. I know Nelson could play the 10 role, but let's just keep it simple and stay with the flanks. So you've got Iwobi, you can play on the flanks. Mkhitaryan, who's been used on the flanks. Ozil's not a winger, but he's been utilised out there. And you've got Wells. So that's 4 players competing for essentially 2 positions. Oh, and you might as well say 5, because Aubameyang seems to be doing that. I think we need to find a way of patterning that and stopping him from allowing him to be in essential positions and do his thing. But there's that. So that's around 4 or 5 names. You add Nelson, that's 6. You add another player, that's 7. So you would think the future of Danny Welbeck's future directly impacts that. Mkhitaryan won't be sold. He needs to stop performing, but he won't be sold, and I don't think he should be. I actually like him, but he just needs to perform. Welbs. If you remove Welbs out of the equation, you now see a space for a wide man, don't you, people? So if Welbs is removed, if you look away from a Billy, just put yourself in Unai Emery's shoes. The matter of bodies, the context of Arsenal with the whole contract business, and we need to move people on, and we're working with tight margins. It would make sense if you free up Welbeck. Welbeck's position goes. Nelson's allowed to slot in. Of course, there's a future with if Wells was to sign a new deal, Nelson could come back and a winger comes in. But that's a lot of bodies for position, fighting for the same position. Obviously, a Welby, Mickey, they can be used in a bunch of formations, and Aubameyang to a degree the same. It can obviously be played up front. But on the matter of bodies, and there's a lot of games in the season, but there's only so many. You'd think one has to leave of sorts or to a degree, because even if you look at this year, I mean, okay, cool. Now, apparently Arsenal were reluctant to let Nelson go, but he was deemed to let go and develop himself. We could look at it from another point of view and say, was that because of the bodies we have at this club? Obviously, Nelson he's not playing week in. He's playing week in, week out, but he's not starting playing 90 minutes week in, week out. If you get me, he's having a positive loan spell. So there's a case for Nelson to say, all right, boom. Do I actually stay at Hoffenheim? Nagelsmann's actually leaving Hoffenheim, so do I go to Leipzig with him? I'm not sure. Or do I come back to Arsenal next season and fight for a spot, which I think will happen. Admittedly, I didn't want him to go on loan, and I still want him to come back next season. But if I remove my bias away from it, another loan spell where he's guaranteed to more or less play a central part of the plans, I think that would be the case at Arsenal next year. But you get where I'm going. Could be in his benefit. So you would think, I don't know, man. You would think, I don't think Nelson's and Welbs' futures directly impact or are relevant to each other's. But if I just look at how one's utilised or the space on the bench, you would think Welbs or someone needs to go before one comes in. Or if Nelson comes back on loan, from loan, you kind of think a winger won't come in, a wide man won't come in. Obviously, I would love to be wrong. Obviously, there's still space for another wide man. Look at how many City have. Obviously, I don't know what's going on with the contract business, but you have to. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. So I have to give it to you guys essentially of sorts. If I look at it, I think Nelson will have a place next year. I think we're gonna ride with Wells. We're gonna concede that. Cool. We could have got a young 16 to 20 million on him. I think we're gonna just concede that, let him go. I don't know, so anything could happen, but that's what I think is gonna happen. But yeah, like I said, I don't know the point of this vid, people. But between staying at Arsenal for next year, having another loan spot at Hoffenheim, we don't know who the next manager is going to be, because you need to remember Nagelsmann's going to Leipzig. It could be a manager who doesn't give a crap about young players and just wants to win or just play it safe. So he might not get game time. I don't think that will happen, but that's an alternative scenario. Or does he follow Nagelsmann, assuming he still wants him, and assuming Arsenal allow him to go on loan to Leipzig, another team that develop players and things like that? It's up for him to answer, innit, people? But yeah, man, it's just something I've been thinking since the start of the season, and to a degree I'm feeling it now. Obviously, Wells has probably played up front more times than he's played on the flanks, but you'd think Wells, he even come off the bench and played left channel against Liverpool, so you could see, and he has done a couple of times this season and historically, so you can see the sort of picture I'm trying to paint. Again, this is nothing more than me speculating, people, but by now you get the point. I've got nothing more to add, unfortunately, so let me get out of your hair. I'd love if you subscribe, like the thing, offer your comments and all of them sort of things there, people. Let's keep it going. We've got a positive community here. I've got some wonderful subscribers that make some good comments in the comments and provoke my thoughts even further. So I'd love to hear from you guys, man. No, nothing is stupid. No input is stupid. Obviously, I need your Q&A questions, so get in there, because Thursday I got to record that. But yeah, people, I'm out, man. Deluded.